Your realtor should have more than just a lockbox key. I've spent 15 years curating relationships that open doors.
Hi, I'm Dr. Carolyn, and this is Get Your Life, the show where guests come on and tell you all about their lives in the hopes that it gives you the confidence to live your best life too. I have an amazing guest today, Coach Ian of Operation Triple T LLC, and he provides you with opportunity to do boot camp. He's been doing this since 2013. Welcome, Coach Ian, to
Thank
the
you, Dr. Carolyn.
show.
Thank you very
You
much.
are
Thank you very
so
much.
welcome. Man, when people talk about boot camp, most of the time I hear fear. People are afraid of boot camp because they know it's a lot of hard work. So tell me, how did you get started in the fitness industry and then specifically boot camp?
Sure. So thank you again for having me, Dr. Carolyn. It's greatly appreciated. How I got into the industry was growing up as a kid. I was always, those 80s kids playing outdoors all of the time. Eventually, as I went through school, Columbus High School, received a scholarship to play at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy.
Awesome.
So fitness was always a part of my DNA. Took one of those corporate jobs, which was my goal at the time, in downtown Miami, the shirt and tie. And sales did really well, but I found something was missing, and I just felt that I just needed to get back outdoors again. And again, going through the military, that was definitely a part of it. And I wanted to give back to the community. I saw some of these high-priced, fitness programs, and I just wanted to give a more affordable option for people that couldn't afford a trainer, and in an outdoor environment, which I enjoy. Initially it started off as a way to just make a little side money as well, but that was further from the truth. It just became a passion of mine, whether I got people in for free or not. That's how I got started.
Well, I love it. I hear the passion, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Coach, we need help. Listen, 40% of Americans are obese, and sadly, the African American community, we're almost 50% of the obese people in the nation, but we're about 12% to 15% of the population. What in the world are we doing wrong?
Well, time has changed. I'm not going to blame the internet, comfort foods or anything like that, but times have changed, right? Back in the day, you would walk, bike, you do a lot more outdoor activities. Now, everything is at the palm of your hand, including the cell phones. And even just, your friends are a tap away. You no longer need to get up and go to them. So I think, we can't blame ourselves 100%. Society's changed a bit, and that could be the result of that.
Okay, I like that. You can tell you're a coach because you are still encouraging us. You didn't want to tell us all the bad habits that we have adopted, so I appreciate that. So one of the things I've learned is as I grow older, the health experts and even the doctors say you need to build more muscle, especially after menopause. Build more muscle, build more muscle. So tell me, why should we build more muscle?
Well, there's a lot of run clubs out there that would swear by, a cardio only fitness regime. And I'm not here to knock any programming, but the studies have shown that strength training does help to not only build muscle. And once you're, even as an example, if somebody were to walk a mile or two and finish, the calories stop being burned the moment they press stop or the moment they sit down, versus strength training has been shown so that even if you finish your routine or your strength training program, that the moment you sit down on the couch, the calories are still burning. So
yes.
That's why I believe strength training should be a part of any workout routine. So you shouldn't be afraid of it.
Right. I agree too, because also, again, after you get a certain age, your bones change and different things about your posture changes, your balance changes. And I found that as I increased the strength training, the muscle building, my posture is better. Like, I feel like when people get older, they start sinking. So the muscle, to me, helps you stand up straight
Correct.
and walk straight, and I always hear that it's good for the bones, and we want
Correct.
to not fall and break stuff when we get older, right?
That is correct. That is correct. 100% agree. So yeah, most of my members, when they come in, they all ask for, I would say the majority of them ask for the same goals. They want to tone, they want to tighten, they want to lose weight. And I do share with them, continue to do the things that you're passionate about. Some people like, they like yoga, or they like the Zumba classes, and they like to walk, and even I have some pickleball enthusiasts like yourself. So I always tell them, don't drop those things that you're passionate about, but you can just add to it.
I love it.
And that's what we're here for.
I love it. So tell the people, what is boot camp, and who's the best client or consumer for boot camp?
That's a great question. So you alluded to it in the beginning of the segment here that, people are scared of it. I've literally had members, we're in the outdoor park environments here. We're in 3 parks in Southwest Miami-Dade. I've had a member come up to me, a longtime member now, but before she started, she said she walked around us for about 2 years before she decided to inquire and build the courage. And she saw the results of many of the people that maybe started out, and then she saw over time, what they started to look like. Right. So she wanted to be a part of that. So my best clients are those that are willing to challenge themselves somewhat. We're not for everyone. Right. I'm not going to take someone that has pins and needles and it just be a detriment to them. Rule number 1 in personal training is do no harm. So I would never take somebody just to make an extra buck. Mm-hmm. But our best clients tend to be those that enjoy the outdoors. Number 1, they're not afraid that if the sun's out or if it gets a little windy. And then also I tend to see, even though we accept ages 10 through until it's over. Okay. We have kids. My daughter's been in the program. My eldest daughter's been in the program. Other kids have lasted a while. And then, most of them are between their 30s to their 50s seems to be our best demographic in women, but we have men as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, I am going to release my fears and I'm going to let Coach Ian train me. So here we go.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. So today, we'll have all of the kit and caboodles. The difference between our boot camp program, as opposed to there's many other boot camp programs out there, is that we use a lot of equipment on the field. So I know a lot of boot camps just pretty much do body weight only. It's running, push-ups, body weight squats, and more running. So we really try to incorporate, as you mentioned, the strength training portion of it. So we offer weights. You don't have to bring the weights to the program. We have everything for you. All you need to bring is your positive energy and also your mat and about some water for hydration. And again, we stay in the shaded area. So I know, especially in South Florida, it can get a little hot. We always find the shadiest tree and we make it work. So today, believe it or not, we kind of did this workout just this morning. We have multiple sessions, morning and early evenings. And so this one is, some people that have been in the industry is called an EMOM. It stands for every minute on the minute. You're supposed to do a certain amount of reps per exercise. So we don't have all of the equipment today for space reasons, but Dr. Carolyn's going to do just a few. So the first one we're going to do, which is the second one on the board, is going to be kettlebell swing. So we're going to have her pick up the kettlebell. And by the way, if you are a beginner and wondering if this is for you and you're concerned about weights, we literally can do things without any weights at all until you build the comfort up. But right now we have a 10-pound kettlebell. So Dr. Carolyn, I think you got to do that. All right. So the first one's going to be a kettlebell swing. It's really a leg and core and some arm exercise. So most people think it comes from the arms only. This is really a leg. You're just going to roll it between your leg, let the momentum carry, and pop your hips forward. So in today's exercise, we'll have you do that 15 times within a minute. But today we're going to stop short because I don't want you pathing too much.
Yes.
That's basically our kettlebell swing in a nutshell. And then you would have 30 seconds to recover. So it gives you time to break before the next one. The next one's going to be a box jump. Now, I know many people are scared of even jumping. They haven't jumped in 20 or 30 years. So instead of a jump, today we're just going to do a step up and then a squat. All right. So the board says 10 box jumps. Today we're just going to do 3 or 4 until you build the comfort. So you're going to step up, a nice deep squat, then you'll step down,
So
and then repeat. You can switch if you like, or whatever your comfort.
And we buy a rope.
So you can see how anyone can do this. And again, for the super beginner, even though I said 10, maybe for you, we only ask you to do 5 in a minute or 8. So you'll have time to build up to eventually a month or 2 or 3 later, you can do what everybody else is doing. All right. The next one's going to be a curl to press. So we're going to use a little bit of your balance. By the way, we truly believe in the 10 components of fitness. So in addition to strength training, we're going to use balance, agility, coordination, some speed. We do some light running each day. So you'll see it all in our program. So we're going to step up, make sure you're balanced. And then you're going to do a curl. And then you're going to step down. Okay. All one more time. Alternate feet, step up and curl and down. You see, you're a pro. We're not have to take you from pickleball world to our world. And then
maybe I have to do both.
All right. We're going to do 2 more. And then let's see if you want more. Well, I can give you, but just for now. So many of our members we've known are not the best jump ropers. So we have modified equipment. This is going to be where I love to say you never miss, right? Because the rope doesn't come down. It's not going to tangle you into your shoes, but you're going to still get the cardio that you need for this exercise. So, and this particular spin, and once you get the momentum, and then even with time, if you're not the best jump roper, eventually this is going to give you the rhythm so that you can actually do an actual jump rope with an actual rope. So very good, Dr. Carolyn. She's a pro. Very good.
I like that because as you get older, you're like, oh, my balance, my feet. I don't want to fall.
Now, the one thing we're not going to do, but because we don't want to shake the room, we have our 15-pound slam ball. All right. Instead of shaking the room, we're just going to pretend we're going to slam it. And I know we didn't practice this one. So we're just going to use the box, especially as a modifier. You don't have to go all the way to the ground. Some people can't bend all the way. So we're just going to pick it up, lift it over our head. I know you have your coat on, so just right over the head's fine. And then you're going to slam it like your ex-boyfriend or right? That you really
if somebody gets on your last nerve, okay. So you
pick it up, always lift with the legs. And then we're going to slam down to the floor. In this case, we'll drop it because we don't want to shake the room and do one more time. So again, we're getting that natural movement. And these are functional exercises. So imagine your UPS box that you have to pick up in your room.
Yes.
Imagine things you need to put in the cabinet later in life. And they say as you get older, your shoulders are the first thing to go. So these are going to be the exercises that are going to prevent those. Okay, doctor, you're not good to go.
I feel like
She's ready now.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for that.
Very welcome.
Oh, my goodness. I'm excited. Ooh, I'm ready for boot camp. Almost ready. Okay, so
Get some water if you need it. We're all about
yes.
hydration.
Yes.
Great cup, by the way.
Okay. So a lot of the questions I get come from moms. How do we get rid of the baby pooch when we had the children? The uterus expands. So the menopause. I don't want to get into all the menopause things, but you get like a mommy pooch. Can you, or for men, they get a beer belly.
Correct.
Can we spot exercise stuff away?
So as much as I'd love to tell you, the answer is come to my program and we'll make it happen. The reality is, as far as the studies that I've read and all of the 1,500 plus members that I've seen, the sagging of certain areas or extra skin, you can do a great job by doing a lot of strength training, a lot of cardio. Obviously, the diet is extremely important. The muscle built will help to reduce the appearance of that saggy skin.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it just depends on how much is there. So I'd love to just tell you, oh, yes, do as many crunches as you can. But the reality is you can't pick and choose where the fat comes off, unfortunately. But I've seen amazing results. Again, being in an outdoor park, I have people coming up to me from time to time that are either playing soccer and they will say, Ian, every time I see your members come, they start, kind of like a box shape, a fence. And then within about 3 months, they have more of an hourglass appearance. So, I think, just consistency is key, number one. There's no one exercise that's going to get it, but I think consistency in whatever you do, it doesn't necessarily need to be boot camp. If you're a runner or a pickleballer or a walker or a Zumba specialist or Pilates, if you feel that that is benefiting you and you're getting the strength you need, I feel just like you mentioned, your posture improves and you stand upright. But I guess that's my best answer for you there.
So you didn't tell me no, but you're saying the exercise can change the body if we stay consistent.
Yes.
So how many days a week should we do boot camp? Even if we're doing other things, should we exercise every day? Should we strength train 3 days and cardio? Like, what's the combination?
That's a great question. So, to be technical, the World Health Organization typically leans on, 3 to 4 moderate based exercises, so a little bit more than walking. We personally have 4 days a week, and some people, when they join us, they say, well, I want 5 or I want 6. And I must tell them, I laugh because once they do 1, they're going to want that extra day break.
The rest.
But I always tell my members, back to what I said earlier, do those things on our off day that you enjoy. So whether you're already in the gym, whether you're already walking on the side or doing pickleball, to say that again, I encourage members to do at least 4 to 5 if you can. There's some people that do 7. I'm always in disbelief about that. But some people have a mindset that that's like brushing their teeth. If they don't do that, they don't move every day, they can't function. But then I'm also cautious when people try to do too much and they can't maintain that.
Right.
So I always say do something that you feel you can continue to do consistently.
I like that answer because I'm always telling people do something that you love. Like if you tell me to do, I don't know, I've never been a runner type. I love to walk. I can walk 10 miles, 7 miles, whatever. But I've never been like a runner. I love to swim. So beautiful. I will go to aqua aerobics, I will swim, I'll ride my bike, and I will pickleball all day long. But if you make me do something that I don't like, I think that's when exercise becomes work. Correct. And you don't like it. So I like your advice. If you find something that you enjoy, because what happens is social too. Your boot campers will start meeting each other and talking to each other and sharing ideas. So then it's like, I'm not coming just to exercise. I'm coming to live my life. I'm coming to get my life. I'm coming to socialize. We're coming to share. We've shared doctors and we're sharing our coaches and things like that. So if you make exercise more than just something I have to do, I think people look forward to it. So my next question, with all the GLPs and a lot of people, and sometimes people say you shouldn't take it. If people need to take something, I'm not against that. And what I've seen, one of the biggest complaints is the quick weight loss and the flabby skin. What can they do with boot camp to help that?
So in 14 years since starting this program, I've seen many, good and bad diets, right? Fad diets from, again, I'm not knocking any programs because I saw people receive great results, but from Herbalife to Monavi to now all the peptides. I personally have never done those things because I just feel like if I'm looking great, I don't want to be, I'm looking great because of this one device or this, medicine or this, pill that I'm taking. I want it to be because it's my work, right? So that's just my personal, I understand some people want the quick results and my answer doesn't suffice. So I would just tell them to make sure they do their research, talk to their, doctor. I'm usually not the one to say yes or no, but I understand that it could be, people don't want to wait 3 months, 6 months, so I would just tell them to be careful because things come and go. Right.
And I would also say, just like what you said, the different fad diets, I've done a lot of them, especially when I was young. And I've done it all, the cayenne and honey and this, or the apple cider vinegar that, or the some of the brand name things where you drink the shakes and you don't eat for days, or you eat one meal and then you drink 3 shakes, or I've done it all. So what helps people stick with boot camp? Like, what do you do to help people stick with boot camp?
Well, to go back to what you're saying, I also think what's important is some of these things might work very well, but some of them aren't affordable is the other part. So initially you get into something, you're seeing the results, but then, you know, the membership bill hits and, you know, so that's another thing I would tell people to be cognizant about is, you know, make sure it's something you can do long-term and not something that's just a fly-by-night. Why people join my program, as I think you mentioned, you know, I think many young males like myself and many people in general today, their initial opening to the fitness world is the gym, right? Yes. So I was a gym guy for a long time. Yes, I did a military stint for some time. And then I remember being in the gym and there was a boot camp program inside like an LA Fitness. And I said, let me go check it out. And that was the first time like I was with a community again, because the gym world can be very, you know, solitary. Everybody's got, especially today, the AirPods in. And, you know, yes, people, you might see the same faces over and over and you wave, but that's the extent of the relationship. I mean, was a gym person for over 10, 20 years. And that was it, a wave. Versus when I started this program, I mean, people were inviting me to weddings and barbecues and you know, happy hours and, you know, just, you know, not even during, but even after you leave, you have each other's numbers, you're in WhatsApp, so it's a great community to have if you're somebody that enjoys things like that. So that's why I think a lot of people do join, you know, a boot camp program or community type of programs.
I love it. You're so right, because even where I play pickleball, it's a lot of seniors. So the time that I play is a lot of retirees and a lot of seniors. So we're checking on who has surgery, and you see us going through life together. This person had cancer, this person had knee surgery, or this person had hip surgery. And so I feel like it's more than just the activity. Correct. I look forward to seeing, you know, the friends and the people and things like that. So as we are boot camping, do you recommend boot camp in consecutive days, or would you suggest a boot camp day 1 and a rest day, and a boot camp day 2 and a rest day?
That's a great question. We personally are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So we have that rest day on Wednesday and Friday, but some of that is due to, you know, days of the week people tend to have outings, right? Friday night is hard to get people in. Saturday, we have Saturday mornings. We have some that are able to wake up and most aren't. Sunday, you know, is the Lord's day, right? So our reasoning for our timing is just because it's most convenient for most people's schedules. But in terms of recommendation, I feel, you know, as long as you're not always doing the same exercise or routine all the time and you're giving your muscles a chance to break and recover, that's important. And just to kind of throw something about our program, in 14 years, while we've rarely, if ever, do the same exercise twice, right? So we're always creating a new program for you each and every time you come, and we think that gives you mental, like, I want to know what's happening today. I don't want to miss today. And to add one more story about that boot camp that I tried in LA Fitness, it was such a good session, and that's why I came back. But what ended up happening was it was the same routine every single time. And even though it was a good one the first time and the second time, mentally knowing what the routine was going to be, it kind of made me go, I'm going to skip today because I don't want to do that workout. So I think in addition to, it's okay to do back to back, just make sure you're mixing it up. And we feel we do a pretty good job of mixing up strength, cardio, and core each day.
Perfect. What about the pain, no gain? And I hear that a lot, but sometimes
I have my bullhorn when I yell at the people sometimes, but no, that's
when they're doing too much, when they're doing the most. But my thing is, when is pain too much? Like, what's the balance? Because I heard you say the muscle has to break down and then it has to recover. Is that how we build the muscle, right? It kind of breaks down, then we recover. So what is too much pain? Like when you leave boot camp, I'm sure you're going to be sore, but when is that too much pain?
So obviously you mentioned it. There's a big difference, in my opinion, between soreness and pain, right? I think I think we know when we're sore usually comes from when you just get started out, maybe in a new program. I'm sure pickleball, the first time you played, your body was, what is this? Because you're not used to using certain muscles.
Right.
And with time, even though we will always try to adjust to make sure you're not being stagnant, there's a difference between a sharp pain. And I think the moment that a member tells me that they have a pain, we're immediately modifying. Obviously, I always take a sidestep to whatever their doctor requires, if that's usually rest.
Right.
But I think the biggest difference is soreness. We can push through if it's not too bad. And even if it is, we can do another exercise. So we have had members that have, even today, I'm getting a little older and things do feel a type of way.
Different. Yes, they do.
But we've always modified. We've had people with major knee issues, and so they'll come to our program. We'll do upper body just for them, so we'll always find a way for them.
So how do you, I'm assuming in boot camp, everybody's at a different level. Yeah. So how, if I was new to boot camp, I'm coming to boot camp and this is my first or second time, do I go with the people on my same level? Is everybody all in there together where people on a higher level push us up so we can level up? How do you organize the class?
So great question. You have great questions, Doctor. You're an expert here. What I would tell you is, yes, I would tell somebody that's looking for a specialized program that unfortunately we do offer one-on-one, but just not in a group setting.
Okay.
So that's number one. If they felt like our routines were a little too much or too easy for them, that's when we would discuss one-on-one training. But for the most part, a routine like we did today, as you noticed, like maybe it said 10 reps, and for the beginner, we'll say you just do 5. Or if the exercise is maybe too demanding for them, we will give them a modification. So technically, we're all still going to do the same exercise and the same routine, but some people, like I said, with the jump rope, we're giving them a modified rope. With burpees, I hate to use the B word and scare people off, but we do that with specialized equipment where they don't have to go all the way to the ground, so they still feel a part of the program, and they don't have to be singled out. Well, everybody else do this, and you go in the corner and do that. So everybody's always together, and that's the way we've been able to manage it.
I love it. And so I think about things, you've been in the military, and you all have to train for that, but I have never been big on those push-ups. Like I could do a couple, but all the way down and all the way up, all the way down. So I want to do the knee version. Oh, yes. And
I do the knee push-up.
You do the knee push-up?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
there's no shame in the knee push-up in our program.
Okay,
no shame
good.
at all.
I love it because we don't want to be shamed. We can't do everything.
It's better to do a good knee push-up than a bad off-the-knee push-up. I always explain that.
I like that. Yep. So what is it, form over... It's some little saying, but the form takes precedence over the weight. Like I see people even in the gym, they want to add more weight, so I can say I can bench 250 pounds, but it's so bad how you're benching it. Like it's really not effective.
Right? Yeah. Of course, it does happen. And, we have members that maybe don't go 90 degrees on a squat, and some do a little bit higher. Not everybody has the same range of motion. So that's from a training standpoint. So we can't beat. But then there are some that we know can go low enough. Those are the ones that might get that might get a talking to.
Okay, I get a tap on the shoulder. So if you had to give someone 3 things that we could do today to make our health better or feel better or look better, what kind of things would you tell the audience to start today? Okay.
So I've always been huge. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm big on the B word, balance. I studied it. I've seen it with my own eyes through my members, through myself, and it's not the easiest, but it is simple when you think about it. So balance meaning if the perfect triangle, 3 sides to a triangle, on one side needs to be strength training, right? On the second one needs to be nutrition. Okay. And the third one that most people forget about is proper rest. So proper exercise, proper nutrition, and proper rest. And even myself, even though I might constantly be, working out on a great routine for the exercise portion, the nutrition, sometimes don't eat the best, right? But I try. But the sleep was the one that I've, struggled with, right? I feel the need to watch one more movie at night or put the Netflix on one more time instead of just going to bed, because next thing you know, I wake up, I don't want to get up because I didn't get the rest, and now I'm eating at a different time. So I'm not saying one's more important than the other, but I think if people can find that balance, and when I said strength training, I really meant proper exercise. So for exercise for you could be walking. It doesn't necessarily. But
something,
right?
Move your body. So I love that. Those are 3 things that people could do right now. And I will raise my hand and say, rest was not my thing, and that was one of the problems I had. And until I rested, I just didn't feel well. I could exercise and do all that stuff. I just didn't feel well. So rest is very important. I told you the time was going to fly by. So now we're at the end. Okay. So look into the camera and tell the audience how they can find you.
Sure. So thank you again, Dr. Carolyn, for having me. Again, Operation Triple T Fitness. We are in 3 local Southwest Miami-Dade parks. My first one is Deerwood Bonita Lakes Park, right next to Zoo Miami. The second is Tropical Parks, the well-known iconic park with the hill. We're on the track most of the time. The third one is going to be Coral Reef Park, which is in Palmetto Bay. So we operate in the mornings, also in the evenings. You can find us on social media on Operation TTT. That stands for Operation Tank Top Time. So if you're ready to get in tank top time shape, come and see us. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, you name it, we're there. So www.operationttt.com.
All right. So that is Get Your Life. Again, I'm Dr. Carolyn Edwards. Thank you, Coach Ian.
Thank you.
And remember, you can get Your Life on all podcast platforms. You can get the replay on youtube.com at Dr. Carolyn Edwards. And remember, you have the power to live your dreams. All you have to do is be you. Until next time.